It's April 13th, 2021, and you know why you're here. So let's kick this off right and introduce the players. Hey, I am Gerissar, a PvP Padawan. And we have no Andalin again. He is hosting a family gathering because his brother's getting married on the weekend. But that's okay because we have more than enough right here with Rudar. Rudar, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
I am super excited. We went from talking about the OP Holy Priest last episode, and now we're talking about the OP Boomkins this episode, right?
Oh yeah, they're so underrated. Boomkins are OP, and not enough people play them.
Well, I think there's some people that have tried to play them, but I don't think they've learned how to play them correctly. Maybe
right.
And that's why you're here, right? You're gonna impart your godly knowledge to us.
Yes.
And we're not going to talk just about cheese strats with a rogue and doing a one-shot macro.
We're gonna go through those too.
Okay.
We're gonna get all of them. Because placed correctly, a cheese strat is sometimes the best strat, even at like highest rating, and sometimes it works.
True enough. It makes you wonder. With the whole Trojan horse idea, right? I wonder at the end of when the Trojan horse happened, I wonder if anybody was like, man, that was a cheese strat, and got all like mad about it or anything, or because we talk about it in the history books all the time about how great and amazing that idea was, is parking the horse and having the guys jump out and took over a city at night, right? But I wonder if anybody was like, that was a cheesy strat. You think? Yeah, I got you.
Sometimes, honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
But sometimes the best strat is the cheesiest one.
Yes, it is. I agree. Yep. I agree. Well, Rudar, before we get into the whole thing, I wanted to give you this opportunity to let our listeners know who you are and what do you do in the game? What are you doing right now?
All right, so my name's Rudar, and some people might know my character name is Ethan. It was like that for a little bit, or as Fatso if you knew me from a long time ago. But pretty much, I started like doing PvP in WoD, and I got most classes to 2K by like the last season.
Wow.
And like I played WoW since like Kata, but I really just played Mage and Druid. And Legion, I played a bunch of Mage, got my 2.4, got that juicy green enchant.
Nice.
Was in, like happiest day of my life, absolute happiest day of my life.
All right.
And then from there on, I started getting glad as Boomy and BFA. Pretty much every season except for the second season, and then I got glad on Boomy this season, week 1.
Oh wow.
And now like sitting like 3,200 ratings, so we're getting up there, and hopefully we can secure the first rank 1 on the Boomy. It'd be pretty insane. And honestly, a lot of games I've played to get here, like a lot of arenas.
That sounds like a lot of games. Isn't 3,200 safe zone for rank 1 though? That's the top of the ladder, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, let me see what I am right now. I'm 26 right now, and that's like second highest Boomy in the world. Prev is the highest.
Okay.
But Prev's just he's a mystery to all. But okay, I'm 10 points. We're within 10 points. That's right. 1 win.
That's a win or a loss away from.
Exactly.
That's
tight. One cheese kill, and there we are.
There you go. All right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I can't wait till we get to the subject analysis to pick your brain. But first, we do like to talk about what we've been up to since our last show, so about 2 weeks ago. So I guess since Andalin's not here, I'm gonna have to pick it right back to you. What have you been up to these last couple weeks?
Ooh. Okay. if I'm real about it, if I'm being straight
Yeah,
real,
be real.
I've been procrastinating my YouTube. You know, people have been hangry for content, but
Oh.
I've been procrastinating watching Naruto because you know there's some shows I never watched when I was like, so I was watching Naruto a bunch. I haven't queued a lot of threes in the
Mm-hmm.
past like couple weeks. I've been just really sitting my rating, you know, trying to lock in that rank one.
Okay.
But I have been playing a lot more Warrior Boomy and especially Warrior Boomy Arsham
Ooh,
on Horde side. So
that sounds spicy.
it seems pretty good. Yeah, and we're also like preparing for like our Stash Stallions team. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if we're gonna continue with Stash Stallions. It was kind of like a meme for 30 minutes where we all changed our characters to male and put stashes on them and all of a sudden got 3K from like 2600 just instantly
It's
from the
all about the
stash.
Mog. It's all the Mog.
It was all about the Mog. We just instantly just blew up. It was the most insane night ever. Um, but yeah, just kind of working on different comps, playing my mage a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and getting ready for like the next AWC tournament because we got to place number one if we're gonna get back into the AWC circuit. So a lot of
That's
preparing
that. Yeah, that's a good
for
point.
that.
Because the last day of the circuit is this weekend coming up, and then we're going to go into the finals, and then there's a relegation cup. So you guys are going to go back into the relegation cup and hope to go into the finals, season two.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
Well, I'll be
We're
cheering
gonna
on.
give it our best shot. Yeah.
I'll be cheering for you guys. You guys are kind of like the dark horse that came out of nowhere in Cup 4 there. So
Yeah. We beat some pretty good teams getting there.
that was some
With
pretty
some good
insane
hopes.
matches. It was great. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll admit I haven't really been doing a lot. Like I've been logging in, but I just been I've been avoiding LFG and actually like queuing up for stuff. I think I did a couple like just random BGs just for funs and giggles.
Hmm.
Went and did an Ash ran and we just face rolled as Horde. It was almost sad. Um, and then otherwise I've just been doing old raids and stuff. I've been trying to get I've been getting onto my pet battle memes again. So I was trying to get my rating with leashes. So I'm trying to get all of the random pets that I never got for years. So been doing that. I have one last one from Blackwing Lair that has been just avoiding me. I can't get it to drop for the life of me. I don't know how my I'm so frustrated. And then what was it? I went and farmed the bronze whelpling out in Blasted Lands, and after 5,000 and something kills, it finally dropped. And then I went in there again with another character, and it dropped after 50 kills. I was so
Wow.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
I hate RNG. I so hate RNG. It's just
I did that whelpling farm dude for like days. I
mhm.
never got one. Never. I never got a whelpling. I just didn't drop. So hard.
Oh, that is so sad. Yeah, I think the first one was on my priest, and that was a day and a half of farming, just like off and on. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit for that long straight. I was just getting too frustrated. And the other one was like I happened to be in the area, and I was like, I wonder. So I dropped in there on my druid, my boomkin actually, and I was just going around, zapping everything, and then all of a sudden it dropped again. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It's just so. Oh, all right. Well, that's enough about me. Let's get into the need, greed, and pass, and see what options we have here.
This likely won't be a clean fight, so keep your distance, eh?
Alrighty. Okay, so need green pass. So this is going to be the segment where I am going to pose a scenario with 3 options related to WoW, and you, Rudar, as well as the rest of the participants. You players, you people listening on stream, you people listening at home, you too can play along and choose the option in which you will need, which one you'll greed, and which one you will pass. So let the hilarity commence as we decide on what we will need, greed, and pass. All right. So my obviously Andelin's not here again, so I have to do this all by myself, but that's fine. Andalin, he always shows me up. It frustrates me because I end up, I always forget I have to do this, and then I end up like coming up with something like right before the show. So, and he has ones that he's been thinking on for weeks. So I actually sat down today and I was trying to think of something really good. And so I was thinking with, mostly it was because the anticipation for 9.1 hitting the PTR, I started thinking about expacs and everything like that. And I was like, what would be a good question about expansions? And the thought that came to me is the mythological influences that we have in WoW. So you know how in World of Warcraft there's been a lot of Norse mythology that kind of has been part of World of Warcraft through the ages. There's a bunch of the Asian influences we saw in Pandaria and whatnot. So I was thinking, what kind of mythological influences could we maybe see in the next expansions? So I'm going to pose three options. One is North American First Nations mythologies. Number two is Polynesian mythologies. And the third option is African, specifically Sub-Saharan mythologies. So if we were going to have the next expansion pack, which mythology would you need, which one would you greed, and which one would you pass on?
Ooh. Okay. To write these down. So it's African.
Yeah.
Polynesian.
Yeah. So.
And the North American. So like
First Nations.
Like.
So
okay.
So like the Indians.
Okay. All right. Polynesian. What's Polynesians?
So that's like Hawaii, Fiji.
Okay.
Yeah. Think Moana. You know Maui from Moana.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. We would need. Like an island kind of one would be sick.
Right.
Like the Goblin starting area. That place is insane. Mm-hmm. It's kind of mop vibey, but it's really cool.
I agree.
I think need would be an African one.
Okay.
Greed would be a Polynesian one. And
you pass on the First Nations?
I think pass on like the North American one, yeah.
No worries.
I'd pass on that one. I feel like that one's kind of integrated already into the classic WoW stuff. Like with what's that zone called? It's Eastern Kingdoms. Wait, let me see this. Like Razorfin Hill or something.
Oh yeah.
Where is this place?
Yeah. Right.
Stone Talon Mountains, kind of like that.
Okay.
That place is kind of North American-y vibes.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think World of Warcraft is big enough that they've probably implemented some of this stuff. I'd say, right from the chat, tiki huts and volcanoes, beaches for the win.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like that's
some fun
pretty
stuff.
Good.
I could chill on a beach and drink some sort of coconut beverage, with a little umbrella straw or something. I could do that. I could dig that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. I personally, so I was going to need on the African just because I feel like there's some pretty good ideas there that could probably be implemented in some way. And I'd say because I don't think the sub-Saharan mythologies they're not the same as the Persian stuff that we've seen with like Egyptian and Middle Eastern stuff. It's some different styles there, so I think that would be pretty cool.
Right.
I was actually it was so hard. I'm gonna say greed on the First Nations and then pass on the Polynesian. I love the idea of the Polynesian, I do, but I think just I guess from the political standpoint, I think the First Nations would be pretty cool. And considering Blizzard is in North America, I thought maybe that'd be some pretty good homage to pay towards the people that were already on the continent beforehand. So,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. That's my take.
That'd be sick. Yeah. I agree. I think that would be good. I feel like the Polynesian would be really cool. I guess they already have I mean, they've done so many islands. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
every single expansion for like just islands, more
True.
islands.
True.
Pandaria, Zandalar, Tears, Broken Islands, Maelstrom.
So the neat thing there, I think the closest they ever got was during WoD for the garrisons, where we were actually building ships and doing the world quests on that kind of thing, and then later on into BFA when we actually had some boats moving around. But I do remember it was a big thing. It was Warcraft 3, the RTS game, where you actually built docks and ships and had them doing things, right? And I still think I don't think they've actually really hit the mark on that fully. I think there's still something a little missing there. So
Yeah, I 100% agree.
But still, I'd love to see something that was like, a Raven based or some sort of North American First Nations. I think would be pretty awesome. All right. Well, again, back to you, chat, and listeners at home. If you feel the need, by all means, send in your thoughts on this one to technicallypvp@gmail.com or tweet us at technically_pvp. And let's quickly roll through the upcoming WoW PvP events and see what is happening in today's...
Get in there and fight! Stop hiding!
Indeed. Get in there and fight. So, speaking of fights, as always, Dalaran Gaming is still hosting his arcade 5v5 duels, the 5v5 1v1s. So, as always, he tweets those out on twitter.com. Link's going to be in the show notes. The Diabolus Death Bowl returns this weekend, specifically on the 15th. And this one's really cool. It's going to be North America this time. Previously, it was only in EU. So that's been... So sign-ups have ended. I believe there's 8 teams that have been made it through for the qualifiers to play this Thursday. So it'll be Thursday, Friday. You can check that out over at diabolusesports.com/deathbowl. And as far as I know, they're doing this monthly. So if you missed this sign up, don't worry. Get your team together and sign up for the next one. Flark's doing his 3v3 tournaments again. Man, these things are awesome. So he's going to be hosting that on Sunday the 18th. And again, it's going to be, you don't sign up with a team. You just sign up on your own. He will make random teams using his own algorithm. And right now he has a starting prize pool of $150. But if you want to contribute to that, by all means, go ahead. And this one's really, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter or not. What the heck? Sorry. Stupid Twitch just gave me an alert. Anyway, the Oasis Discord is running another tournament themselves over on the 30th of April, and this is the non-gladiator tournament. So, non-glads only. If you have a gladiator title, you can't compete. So that is going to be really awesome. Super excited about this. So, and also you don't have to sign up with a team. You just sign up on your own as a free agent, and they will randomly make teams for you. So I'm pretty excited to see what this is going to... It's going to be so off the wall. It's going to be... I like it because you end up with some really weird comps when you do that. With this whole random stuff. It's really fun to watch. So...
That's like solo queue in a nutshell right there. That's awesome.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It is. Huh. All right.
That's like a solo queue alpha right there. Oh my gosh.
So we'll see how it happens. We'll see how it goes. And then, of course, as always, there's the official Blizzard tournaments. So we just mentioned there's the last day of the circuit, which is going to be this weekend coming up. And then we haven't seen the schedule yet for when the global finals are going to go down. But once we know, we'll let you people know. The MDI, their global finals is on the 23rd to the 25th of April. And this recent one that was just announced is called The Great Push. So this one's going to be Mythic plus Dungeons again, but instead of trying to run a dungeon with fixed affixes and everything as fast as they can, and whoever gets through it fastest wins. This is going to be key pushing. So everybody's going to be set up with keys into their dungeons, and off they go. And then it's whoever can push the key the highest. So if Rudar, if you play and you get to 21, and I play and I get to 22, I win. So should be pretty interesting. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do that though.
Yeah, that's really RNG based. So that's gonna
right.
It's gonna be really RNG based. Yeah, that's gonna be as RNG based as that non-gladiator like solo queue format tournament.
So what I'm trying to figure out is people are pushing dungeons like 20 minutes, right? Some of these 18 keys that they've been doing them in like 20 minutes or less. So so let's say they run, I don't know, pick a dungeon. They run one, and then they level their key, and then then they play the same dungeon again and level the key, and then they play the same dungeon again and level I that's how I foresee it happening. But I don't know. It seems like it's going to be a day of just watching teams run the same dungeons over and over and over again.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so it's not really too RNG if they run the same key. If they were gonna run if it was like retail format key and they always got a new key, different, or a chance to get a different dungeon, then that would be really RNG. But if it's the same key, then yeah, that'd be a lot more fair.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Because it's on the TR, so they have much more control on the keys and the affixes and everything. So I'm not I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Well, we'll have to find out. We'll have to wait and see what Blizzard comes up with. I haven't seen the rules for it yet, so I'm just kind of spinning it. I'm kind of spitballing it right now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know Healing Stat there I think he did an interview on it, so I still have to read that. But he seemed pretty excited about it, so we'll see. He seems to be the brainchild behind some of these weird and wacky things, like the classic tournaments that were happening, and now this great push in that. So I'm pretty happy he joined that team over there. Be interested to see what happens. All right, I guess I think that's all I know about the events that are happening. Again, if anybody knows of any events that we've missed, please let us know. Or if you're planning something, hey, give us a DM or send an email in, let us know, and we'll make sure we put it on the announcements in this segment. And with that, we are going to go into the subject of analysis and pick Rudar's brain.
I'm gonna light you up, sweet
Nice. Okay.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Are you gonna ask me the questions, or should I go?
No. Let's just talk about this. Let's talk about this. So,
okay.
Boomkins. The last time we talked to anybody on the show was actually just July last year, so it's pretty recent. That was 8.3. So I guess really, has there been anything that has really changed from what we saw in BFA to today in Shadowlands at 9.0.5? What's the differences? What are the nuances what's made Boomkins so much infinitely better today than they were in season 4 of BFA?
I would actually argue that in season 4 of BFA, they're just as good as they are today. With all the changes that has happened to Boomkin and with other classes, I think Boomy has just like kind of maintained its level. I think Boomy, there's a lot of you need pretty good teammates to push high rating as Boomy. So like a lot of I credit my teammates all the time. They're just amazing players. But some of the changes for sure, like in Cap Roar, insane peels. Like you just completely negate any RMP opener. It might get nerfed later on. We'll see, but it is very strong. What else did they add? Is Typhoon new? I don't think it is. Is it?
No, I think Typhoon was there. I think it was just. I don't think it was. I think it was a talent. I thought.
Was it a talent?
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
wasn't baseline.
Okay, yeah. So you never even ran Typhoon before, but now with Typhoon, like you can easily run Wild Charge pretty much every game because you can kind of synchronize both of those and get double the distance away from melee teams. So Typhoon makes Boomies just like they're already good against melees in previous like in season 4 BFA.
Okay.
But now that melees have like condemn and different gap closers and a shorter cooldown on heroic leap, the and Typhoon pretty much allows you to run Wild Charge, which gives you a lot of advantage into melee teams, even more than you had last season. So they're probably a little bit better than last season, a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see. Incarn is different now. You don't get Astral Power when you press it. You used to.
Oh. So, is it still good then? To Incarn?
Yeah, Incarn. Yeah, it's still good. It's just different because they introduced eclipses, so like the rotation to Boomy is just a little bit different.
Okay.
Where you just kind of cycle, kind of. I don't know when they changed it. Maybe it was when they went into Legion. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really start playing Boomy till about like the very end of Legion.
Okay.
But yeah, Incarn's nice. It gives you a lot of or you pretty much just run Celestial Alignment most games, but it just gives you a lot of haste, which you just do more stuff with more haste in a shorter amount of time, which is always good.
All right.
What else did they add? I guess it's just more bursty overall. The overall burst you get from Boomy is much greater than you got last season. Last season is more just dots and a bunch of passives. There wasn't a lot you did as a player to do damage. It's mostly just the game doing passives like Lethal Strikes, Ancient Flame, Gushing Wounds kind of damage. So it's more interactive and bursty, which makes it really fun to play.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think those are and Mighty Bash got nerfed, but
Yeah.
That 1 second, that's one more Star Surge. That's I don't know, that's 20% of somebody's HP. I don't know about that nerf.
Would you say so here's an interesting point. Would you say it was a fair change though?
If you're okay, is it even fair?
Is that reduction a fair change? Would you say it was too OP and then reducing it makes it actually a fair change, or is it that like now it just makes you struggle? Does it make you struggle? Well, obviously it makes you struggle more because I mean that's one less Star Surge, right? So
I honestly think that the nerf is good, because then every 1 minute you'd be able, like if you enter Eclipse, have full dots on a target, Fury Balloon, pop all your bursts, cooldowns, Kyrian badge, all your 1 minutes. You just do your 1 minute go with a Bash Beam or just Bash by itself.
Yeah.
I think if it was 5 seconds, you might just 100 somebody every 1 minute, and there's not a lot they can do about it. So
yeah, that's not fair.
It might be too OP, but I would gladly love that 1 second back. Maybe give it 2 more seconds. Make that a solid finish shot for me. That would always be good. That would always be good.
That's yeah.
Gladly take that back.
Fair.
Yeah.
Now, alternatively, though, if everything is down to a 1 minute cooldown where you're just doing this like the Swifty macro burst pop, I would say that's as easily counterable though, because as soon as you start that go, all they have to do is wait for you pop all your stuff, then you go through a CC chain and you lose it all, right? So it's just as easily shut down.
Yes and no, depending on how you play. A lot of the best Boomies actually play a way to where even if you get CC'd on it, it doesn't really matter because you do like a turding rotation, and not a lot of Boomies know how to do this. It's where you run Timeworn Dreambinder, Kyrian, you pop your burst, even if you get CC'd, you just like you're cycling, you're like you have a Timeworn Dreambinder buff, and your main goal is to keep that buff up for as long as possible,
Okay.
just so your Star Surges are less expensive and you can hit them harder for a long period of time.
Okay.
So yeah, if you get CC'd, yeah, on your burst, it's definitely bad, but
you
a
can still make up for it, like you said, because of the Kyrian.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's a big advantage to Kyrian, yeah.
All right. Okay, I love it. So you kind of mentioned a few things there. Obviously, I mean, you're a damage dealer, but the supports you got there. So you were saying you got the solar beam, that's your silence, right? The mighty bash, which is the stun. What else? I know there's that age-old entanglement for the root, which is ever so annoying in BGs. I hate that.
Yep.
Cyclone, which is always fun. There's the incapacitating roar. So that's basically it's just an incap, right? It doesn't fear, it just incapacitates. Does that?
Yeah, just incaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's the vortex, right? The Ursul's vortex.
Only if you're Restofin and you never run Restofin.
Okay.
You pretty much just Typhoon, Incap, Solar Beam, Cyclone, pretty much. Or your stops.
What about Frenzied Regeneration then? Because that's only if you have Guardian Affinity, right?
Yeah. You always play Guardian Affinity.
Okay.
The like philosophy to run Guardian Affinity every single day or every single day. every
Close
single
enough.
day. Pretty much the reason you run Guardian Affinity is since like off healing is really good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Resto Affinity and they do a go on you and you have to like kite and then Swiftmend yourself, and then since you're kiting and Swiftmend yourself, then they like counter go and then just go your healer or something because they don't have stun DR on them yet. They could just go your healer and you have no mana. But if they do a go on you, you Frenzied Regeneration, you still have full mana if they go your healer.
Okay.
So it's one better defensively because you're in a tankier form while you're healing even more than Rest Affinity already.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have mana for your teammates left over, which is always good.
Okay. So, all right. So Guardian Affinity, that's for 3s. What about for 2s? Same thing?
Yeah, same thing. Same thing.
All right. And I'm assuming random or for rated BGs, probably the same thing because you're probably needing that if they go on you anyways. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I love it. And then, so obviously, and like you said, off heals are so strong this expansion. I'm still surprised by that.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get nerfed a little bit, but nope.
I like him strong. If it's not casted and it's not a feral, like if a feral does it and it heals like, I don't know, 8k, I think that's fine if it's not casted.
Okay.
And then if it's casted, it heals like 15k, that's fine. But like shamans and paladins healing 30k instant every 3 seconds isn't very good for the game, I think. I think you should have to cast if you're gonna off heal. It's a little crazy.
Come on, a couple paladins healing as much as a holy paladin. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's so good because it's like another like skill factor to the game, and it like breeds it makes so much nuance. Like as soon as you like get the cyclone, you've done your peels. Then instead of just doing damage, you can like heal. Like you can do even more with off heals since it's way more than BFA. But some classes have it too easy. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. I think that's always been one of the concerns of the player base is whenever they're looking at their toolkit and they go and look at another toolkit and they're like, but they have almost the same things, but theirs is easier. Huh. All right, whatever.
When a shaman crits 38k healing surge in an arena, you just have to question like, is that really fair? Is that too much at all? Like,
yes, probably. Now, are they doing it consistently? No, that's more of just
no. Yeah, that's like a rare occurrence. Yeah,
that's a roll in the dice, and you get Yahtzee, right? So it's
exactly.
But all right. I just dated myself talking about Yahtzee. Anyways.
I play the Yahtzee.
Yeah?
That game's good.
I play Yahtzee too, but It's every time I open up my my vault. It's anyways. That was a bad joke. Okay, let's talk about talents then. Let's go through this talent tree and tell us what you pick and why. So we can kind of get a feel for just what's going on here. What's making them tick so good underneath the hood. So obviously, right at the first row, you got your Nature's Balance, which while in combat you generate 1 astral power every 2 seconds, and while out of combat, your astral power rebalances to 50 instead of depleting to empty. So that's nice. Warrior of Elune, your next 3 Starfires are instant cast and generate 40% increased astral power on a 45-second cooldown. And the Force of Nature, which is a 1-minute cooldown, you get to summon a stand of 3 Treants for 10 seconds, which immediately taunt and attack enemies in the targeted area, and also generates 20 astral power. So which one are like? I remember Treants used to be pretty good, but I think they're not.
They're so good in WoD. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I know.
yes.
But then
The
they,
root,
yeah, then they nerfed
they
them
don't
a
root
bit.
anymore.
No, I think
Yes.
the AI was kind of not so great too. They would go off and just hit.
No.
Yeah.
They were so random.
Why are you going to the pet over there? He's right here.
Yeah, they would hit random things, like as long as it's not in CC, they would just hit something, like hit
Yeah.
water elementals. They were just all over the place.
Oh my,
They're
that's
good.
horrible. That's horrible. And all right, so I don't think Force of Nature is picked anymore. But so what about Nature's Balance and Warrior of Elune? Which one are we going for here?
Okay, so the reason you go Nature's Balance,
Okay.
in pretty much every scenario, in RBGs you actually run Force of Nature if you're gonna sit a base.
Okay.
Because that way, somebody can't smoke bomb cap on you. Like if they duel you or something and then smoke bomb cap, if they do like a rogue boomy on you
Mhm.
to cap, you can like Force of Nature and drop those, and they'll just hit the guy capping. So you can use Force of Nature there.
All right.
But the reason you go Nature's Balance is because, especially in setup comps, like if you're playing Dancing with the Stars, like Rogue Boomy Disc Priest or Fire Mage Boomy H-Pal, Windwalker Boomy H-Pal, more setup comps. The reason you go Nature's Balance is because doing the first go in an arena is very important.
Mhm.
If each team has 4 goes and one team did 3 because they went second and the other team did 4 and they won. I mean, if you just went first and say you're really close to killing, if you just did 1 more go than them, then maybe you would have won the game. And Nature's Balance just gives you that you can burst like right away. 2 dots on a target, Fury Balloon, pop all your stuff, and you've got the astral power to start spamming down Star Surges and just doing that cycle again where you keep your Dream Binder up as long as possible. And also, it's just nice overall astral power. Warrior
Nice.
Balloon just it's just not enough astral power overall, and not starting with 50 astral power is pretty bad in a lot of comps. You just can't get pressure rolling quick enough.
All right. That's unfortunate. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Nature's Balance. All right. And then like I said, that I never thought about that. Force of Nature for helping spin a base. That's smart.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. What about in the next year? Oh, sorry. What were you thinking?
Oh no. Next row two.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Tiger Dash renewal and Wild Charge. Tiger Dash speed increase by 200%, renewal 30% heal. Wild Charge just like the little leap stuff.
Yep.
Okay, you go Wild Charge every single game. I was the biggest stickler ever for going renewal until my friend Serranus, or the God of Damage, literally like Boomy legend from like back in Kata. Like he was like, I didn't even know him, but like I started looking into a lot of his content lately. Guy was like multi-rank 1, like Boomy insane guy, and he's like, bro, just go Wild Charge. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go renewal. And then like maybe 2 months ago I started going Wild Charge. And the advantage to Wild Charge is like the amount of damage you can avoid far outweighs the amount of damage you can heal with a renewal.
Oh, really?
So, and especially paired with Typhoon, you can just like kite melee really well. One little nice thing I like to do into hunter teams is And like jungle teams, they'll stun your healer, they'll stun the kill target, and if the kill target isn't you, or if they don't even stun you, right? Like if you use Omnibar to track the freezing trap,
Yep.
and you see right when they press it, or if they're standing on your pally or your healer, you might have to do it early, but you can shift out of Moonkin form and then wild charge your teammate that's about to get trapped, and you'll eat it 100% of the time as long as you don't move and he doesn't move. Like if he's stunned and then you wild charge right as the trap's in there, 100% will eat it. So there's like you can leap, knock, you can like leap up to pillar or a like z-axis, like up in up on ledges, knock people off, you know, jump off, leap back up, they just fall off. You know, you can just finesse so many teams, take so much less damage. And you can also use wall charge to like, you know, get in there. You got to get a kill. Renewal's not going to help you get a kill. If you wall charge and then like look back, leap, star surge once or twice, I mean, bam, you got a kill. If you're renewal, you know, you just would have missed out. So
interesting,
because you don't have the killing power, you just don't have the burst in most goes to like actually kill somebody. Unless you have Incarn up, you pretty much just don't have the damage to kill right off the spot. So you'll have to do a decent amount of chasing if you're gonna like land a final kill.
Fair enough.
Wild charge does a good job of that.
So when you're charging somebody, then which one do you prefer? Doing a bear form so you immobilize them, or do them as cat so they daze, and you're behind them?
Oh, there's so many things to it. So cat form, I like to do the cat form charge. Like, I guess in stealth, if I'm gonna go in-cap clone like a healer, if I'm gonna go like try to in-cap the healer, get LOS, then clone so the DPS can't kick me, I'll always do it in cat form, because while like the travel form or boomy, like the healer could always just move while you're mid-air, but the feral form will just always get you to the back of the healer, and it'll pretty much guarantee you always get the in-cap roar after. So if you're like going for in-cap clone, it's always feral form.
All right.
Other than that, you don't really use the feral form while charge. If you're going for bear, so the bear route, if you're peeling your teammate, you've done triple roots, you've done all your heals, you've done triple clones, you just got nothing left, then, you know, send a bear route, you know, at the end of a solar beam, like if you're doing a bash beam, like 100-0 or something like that, and your teammate's also hitting them, to keep them in the beam after the bash ends, because bash is, you know, 4 seconds again. Like, come on, Blizzard. You can just you can just shift bear form, and then you can root them at the very end of your bash, so it just keeps them in the beam for like another 2 seconds, and it's pretty much a stun. Yeah, it's pretty stun. And if you're torn, I mean, you can bear charge after and then stomp them after. Like it's
oh my god, that's a huge change. That or chain of CC. That's just you too. That's
that's 7 more. That makes the stun, instead of 4, 7 seconds. So you have a lot more time, and stomp is off the GCD, so you can shift out and surge right on the stomp. See, Boomyafin if I'm kiting, and also if I'm chasing, really. Not really for getting CC or whatever. I just use it for ease if I'm trying to do damage, because I don't want to shift out, so I just use Boomy form to get around the map most of the time. But
yeah, I guess because that makes sense. That's one of the annoying parts, is you're shifting and then you're on GCD, so you're waiting until your stuff comes back up. Why bother if it doesn't make that much of a difference in movement? All right. So the next one, though, we're talking affinities. So speaking of that, so you got your feral, your guardian, and your resto. You're saying just pretty much guardian all day, every day, right?
Yes, all day, every day. So there's one little trick with resto affinity that you can do. If you're like a MLG pro and you crank 90s on kids in Fortnite, and you think you're really good on RBGs, and your teammate's not, like, you don't have good healers on your RBG, you can go resto affinity, and you can also run Heart of the Wild. And you can Heart of the Wild resto affinity. You can innervate yourself while Heart of the Wild's up. So you get like. So this is what you do. This is like the craziest healing output ever.
I'm getting my pen and paper ready.
Heart of the Wild. Right. Then you spam out as many heals as possible with resto affinity, and then as soon as you reach about half mana, that is when you use your innervate. So then you won't overcap on any mana, and then your mana will go back up to full with Heart of the Wild Resifin healing.
Yeah.
And then you can just dump it all back down, and it'll just go down very slowly. Your heals are, it's like your healer dies on a Battle of Gilneas like team fight map, and you just proc a Resto Affinity Heart of the Wild, and you do the rotation like good, and with wild growths and Swiftlands and everything,
nobody
you're
dies.
gonna do more healing than all your healers. Yeah. If you convoke too, like you're just gonna like, you will literally out heal every single healer, and your team won't die. Your healer will get back, and everything will be fine.
And you save the day.
Exactly. If you suspect your healers are really bad, you just do that. But
all right.
I generally don't do that. But in niche situations where all of your healers have no HP, yes.
Generally, okay. So how many times have you done that then?
I've done that. I did it a lot in pre-patch.
Okay.
And I've done it maybe like 20 times. I haven't queued a lot of RBGs. I've queued like maybe 100, not a lot, but
wow.
I've done it like 20 times with like the YOLO groups or whatever. Just to guarantee wins, because whoever gets that like waterworks space first should pretty much just win the game if they can successfully spin it the rest of the game and play defensively.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's the downside of Battle for Gilneas, is with the only 3 nodes and how quickly you tick up when you get 2 of them. It pretty much is game over. Huh.
Yeah, and against a good team, you won't get the base back if they're good.
No, exactly. All right. Next tier. So obviously, I guess Heart of the Wild is out if you're Guardian Affinity, so that leaves Mighty Bash or Mass Entanglement.
Oh, okay. So Mighty Bash, right? This is gonna get a little bit into like the legendaries and stuff too.
Okay.
But Mighty Bash, I like to run Mighty Bash into teams that have like 2 freedoms. So people like Shadow Priest, Windwalkers, Rep Paladins, Demon Hunters. I might be missing one. I don't 100% know, but if you root beam like their healer, and like of course you run Bash into Resto Druids, unless you're trying to kill the Resto Druid, like I was Dancing with the Stars, you like root beam like their caster or something on the go.
Okay.
But other than that, you run Bash into Resto Druids, and if you fight targets with a bunch of freedoms, so like Ret DH, Ret Windwalker, DH Ret, Shadow Priest Ret, you just don't really go Mass Entanglement, because when you root beam, unless the other 2 targets are in like cross CC right when the root beam hits, they're just going to instantly freedom them out. So you just get more value out of bashing like defensively, or to set up like a clone on their healer with like a little cat form wild charge bash clone. But yeah, other than that, like turbo teams that don't have any freedoms, like Enhancement, Warrior, H-Pal, they don't really have any freedoms. H-Pal might pre-freedom, which is like kind of sketchy sometimes, but just send the root beam. Hopefully they don't pre-freedom it. It's always hard, because sometimes they do, and it's really sad, but you just gotta get the next one. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the CD on? It's 30 seconds. So I mean,
yeah.
It's not horror. I mean, Could you
into some Windwalker? Okay, so into like some Windwalker teams, like the combo with Wild Charge, Typhoon, and Mass Entanglement, you can actually take like virtually no damage from a Windwalker if you kite them properly. Like if you're using all those things on CD and Mass Entanglement on their images, like they actually can't connect to you, which is like a really big counter to them.
Wow, yeah.
Even if the Windwalker's playing with a Demon Hunter, you can literally just like they're a double freedom comp, but sometimes like it's best to just run Mass Entangle if you're struggling to live into those teams.
Well, that makes sense, especially for the Earth, Wind, and Fire images, because then if you Mass Entangle them, then they can't hit you.
Exactly.
That's all their extra damage, really, right? So, not.
And another one more thing about Mighty Bash is so with the legendaries, if you run Balance of All Things and Mighty Bash, into priest teams and into warlock teams, you can mighty bash and solar beam, and that locks them out from like a priest using guardian angel or pain suppression. So like if they have no trinket, if you can do a bash beam go, they trinket, and then the next go you do a like you double dot fury balloon, bash beam, incarn, and then triple surge. 100% will die. Like they will not live. They will not live unless they get like insane peels. They will just die like to you yourself. So if you have your teammates hitting them, it's just completely overkill. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
like bash into priest is crazy win condition.
Interesting. Okay. Like you said, it's
If you
just a
don't
matter
have
of
stun on your team.
yeah. You just have to get through that first trinket go, and then, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You like bait them. You bait them to trinket before your incarn, and if they don't trinket but they BM out of your first bash beam,
Yeah.
if they BM right there, then you can just solar beam them on penance, fury balloon, and like double surge, and they'll just die. So like without any setup out any go, like you can just cheese them like right off the bat. Like
That's oh my
I
gosh.
I've done that to like 3,100 teams. Like it's so cheesy, but I mean, you kind of got them in checkmate if their
Yeah.
teammates don't peel, if they don't recognize that it's actually a very lethal go that
Yeah.
you're doing by yourself. So
Huh.
yeah, that's pretty
Huh.
much it for the Mass Integral and Mighty Bash. Yeah.
I like that. That's got some spicy strat to it though. I like it. And like you said, I mean, if the cheese works, be cheesy, right?
Yeah. Honestly, you find a Warlock team, kick them on Chaos Bolt, run Balance of All Things, and just one shot them. Like come on, like don't play a 10-minute game. Come on now, like just end that game. Either win or lose. Like come on now, like just one shot them. Like,
Do people still play Destro? I thought it was Demo and Affliction again, not Destro.
no, it's Destro and Affliction.
Oh really? Okay.
Cloud9's been running like a Destro Frostmage Archrid, and then they've also been running like a lot of teams have been running Affliction Shadow Priest Archrid and Affliction Shadow Priest HPAL, I think. Yeah.
I knew they're doing the Affliction Shadow Priest. The Shadow play was coming back, but I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't even really get a chance to catch the last cup, so I haven't seen what Cloud9 was up to. So, all right, well, tis what it is. All right, next one.
Yes.
So Soul of the Forest. Then you got Star Lord. Oh man, every time I see that, I think of Guardians of the Galaxy. So Star Lord is Star Surge and Starfall grant you 4% haste for 15 seconds, stacks up to 3 times, and gaining a stack does not refresh the duration. That's kind of sucky. And then Incarn, Chosen the Loon, which is what we talked about, where you get the improved Moonkin form, and you get 10% increased crit strike, and it lasts for 30 seconds, but it's on a 3-minute cooldown. So, okay.
Right.
What are we doing here? I like Star Lord.
Soul of the Forest is PvE.
Okay.
So every time you look up my character, Prev's character, Korkiri's character, all the top boomies, every time you look up our character and we're running Soul of the Forest, it's not because we're running in PvP, all right?
Yeah.
Because that's an M+ talent, all right? Just want to get that out there.
Okay.
And then, okay, so Star-Lord is pretty much your go-to if you're running Time-Worn Dreambinder, because this gives you enough haste while you're bursting. So what you can do, if you want to have like the most optimal burst with Time-Worn Dreambinder and Star-Lord, what you want to do is right before you burst, you cancel Aura your Star-Lord stacks. So that way, when you go into like that little cycling rotation where you're trying to keep your Time-Worn Dreambinder up the whole entire time, or like 30 seconds after, even like however long you can prolong that up, Star-Lord's pretty much just going to give you a bunch of haste right off the bat. So you can get, like, if you cancel it, you're just going to get more globals off pretty much, because it's not going to go like high haste for like the first 3 star surges, and then when you're at an Astral Power drought, you're going to have no stacks. You're going to be like super low haste if they cancel midway, and then you're going to start building them up, but by that time, like, your burst is already over. So you want to, like, while you're at high Astral Power and you're dumping your surges, you want to instantly get to the highest amount of haste with Star-Lord in your Time-Worn Dreambinder stacks. It's kind of confusing,
No.
But you want to have the most haste for the most amount of time during your burst, pretty
No,
much.
that makes sense. What's the internal cooldown then between canceling to getting back? Like, is there internal cooldown between the canceling before you can actually start getting these Star-Lord procs again?
No, no.
Okay.
You can cancel it and then the next surge will just start build. You can
It
get
starts
one
building
stack,
automatically.
then yeah,
Huh.
exactly. Like so
Okay.
if you're like generally I'd say burst if you're at about like 50 to 60 astral power and above.
Hmm.
So that way you can instantly get your Star-Lord stacks while you're bursting. Get as
Okay.
many surges out while you have all your Pelagos buff and everything. Um if Yeah, so that's pretty much what you run for Kyrian. If you're playing Convoke, so pretty much Kyrian and Convoke are like the only like arena and RBG specs. Ventir has some like cheesy builds, same with Necrolord, but um they're they're not really seen that much. I've tested them out. They're just in my opinion, they're not very great overall. Like if you're gonna do any other content in the game, they're pretty garbage. So I just stick
Mm.
to Kyrian and Convoke.
Okay.
But if you are Convoke and you're playing a melee cleave, which you generally shouldn't as Convoke, you generally want to play the caster cleaves, so double caster as a
Hmm.
Convoke Druid. If you are playing double caster as Convoke Druid, I'd go like Incarn every game. But if you're playing with a melee, you're gonna have to get away from making Convoke your biggest source of like pulling cooldowns from the enemy team, and you're gonna want to run Timor Dreambinder and Starlord Convoke Druid with a melee. So that way you
Okay.
can like you're kind of like a subtle Kyrian Druid, except for you have Convoke, but you also do slightly less damage on your 1 minute burst. So you kind of have
Okay.
like pros and cons to it.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're playing double caster Convoke, then you just go Incarn every game because you want to force like every single cooldown from the enemy team when
Yeah.
you press your Incarn Convoke.
Just be
And you
super
run like
scary.
exactly like you want to have the biggest threat ever. The
Makes
haste won't
sense.
affect Convoke because Convoke is stagnant at 4 seconds, no matter how much haste you have.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, you can't reduce the speed. If you could, like
Oh gosh.
people die fast from Convoke, but you would die like really fast, like
Yeah.
really,
Oh
really
my
fast.
gosh.
So
Oh.
yeah, they don't haste doesn't affect the duration of Convoke. It might affect it. I think it affects it like a very slight amount. I swear it does because when I was playing Convoke Druid for a little bit, I think when you pop like Heroism, it might have gone a little quicker. But um yeah, so
Okay.
Starlord pretty much go to if you're Kyrian. If you're Kyrian and you're running Bash and you're going for like Balance of all things Kyrian, and you're trying to Bash Beam one shot people, I normally go Incarn. So like if they trinket the first go, you guarantee kill. Like Incarn will give you enough crit to where you pretty much guarantee your Star Surges to crit on
Oh
your
wow.
Balance of all things first. So if you're fighting like pre teams and you're trying to Bash Beam
Hmm.
100 go Incarn. If you're not really playing for that, then just Star-Lord Dreambinder, chill with that. Um,
Slow and steady wins the race
yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I like
It's a
it.
little tricky. I've just done a lot of testing. It's so much trial and error with all these builds. It's really just
Yeah.
trial and error. Figure out which works and
Oh,
like when.
how long did it take you to figure that all out?
Uh,
How much trial and error did that take you?
how many games are we at? Uh, oh man. Let's stay on the oh my gosh, and I don't do that many viewer games on the oh man. Uh let's just say let's keep it about 5,000 games, you know. Let's
Five.
keep it about
Oh
there.
Jesus.
May it might be higher than that, you know? It might be more like I don't okay. Okay, it's about like 9K games. 8 or 9K games on both my druids or all three of my druids.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
just this season to figure this out. So like finding the most optimal build, like watching other druids and playing all
Hmm.
the covenants a bunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's PTR,
I
live,
yeah.
and watching other people.
not even PTR. I mean, just like
Okay.
literally just live this season, most of
Oof.
this. But I found a lot of the talent builds fairly quickly, except for
Mhm.
Wild Charge. I was kind of a stickler on that one.
Yeah.
I wanted to run a renewal for the longest time, and I was having decent success with it, but
Hmm.
it's definitely not as good overall.
I can see on the front face how renewal is that. I mean, it's a heal, right? So okay, if my healer's
Right.
incapacitated, I can heal myself. The idea of using that to run away, I don't know, maybe that doesn't sit well with certain people. Maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. One thing too is Balance Druid, like the overall gameplay of a Balance Druid is you're not a mage. Like you're very support mage without blinks.
Hmm.
And you what happens because you're kind of that caster who kind of just chills back 45-yard range, kind of just pumps and peels when they do the goes on you guys. Um, you end up taking games into really deep dampening unless you're playing Dancing with the Stars or like a very setupy comp. Dancing with the Stars or like Spicy Chicken maybe would go too quickly unless you play Spicy Chicken really well, but Dancing just won't last the dampening.
Okay.
Um, so you end up playing games very very deep into dampening, and then just winning because you can kind of out mobility their damage. A
Hmm.
renewal won't do anything in dampening, especially with like a mortal strike or any like healing reduction. It
Yep.
just won't do anything. So wild charge, you can like force people into bad positions, and then dampening so high, you just expose them in that bad position with like a 1 minute cooldown,
Yep.
and their whole team's just fried for the rest of the match. They won't be able to recover, and then you can use wild charge to like chase them down.
Mm.
But it's yeah, renewal will just it's not going to do anything. It won't be towards your favor later on in the game.
Makes
So
sense.
yeah,
All right. I I think we just like hit like 500 IQ level in that past 5 minutes there.
it's
It's
yeah, no boomies. Like you fight. When I was playing boomy and BFA, I didn't understand most of that till like the last two seasons. Like you're not a mage. You're just not. Like I played mage for so long. You're
yeah.
just not a mage. You can't
But
you can't make
but
the
you be
plays you want to
casted.
make. You just gotta chill out sometimes on the
Yeah.
boomy, and as the
Hmm.
game goes on, just expose them, with a 1 minute burst and use Typhoon, Wild Charge, Masters again. Don't let them
Okay.
connect to you, and they're screwed for the rest of the game.
I like
The
it.
damping's like 60%, yeah.
I can't even imagine playing that long. All right.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
That's a
Dude,
whole
that much
that's
fun out of Boomy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
all right. Next tier. I just want to get through the last two tiers. So we got Stellar Drift. So your Starfall is 2 seconds longer, and it has 50% more damage, and you can cast or you can move while casting. That's cool.
Yes.
Twin
Yes.
Moons. So Moonfire deals 10% increased damage and also hits another nearby enemy within 15 yards of the target. Uh, that could be dangerous. All right, and then Stellar Flare burns the target for a pretty small amount of spell power as astral damage, and then an additional 105% of your spell power as damage over 24 seconds. That's really long. Wow. So that actually looks. I mean, 105% sounds a lot, but then over 24 seconds, that's just a little. Like that's totally healable tickle.
It's
Um,
in game that's 2,700 damage. So
over
it's
24 seconds.
less than 10% of somebody's HP. Less than 10%.
Like,
And comparison, Sunfire does 3,900 non-casted.
wow.
It's not very good. And
Yeah.
if you get kicked on it, you get kicked on every school. That's why you don't run it.
Yeah. Okay.
That thing would have to do 10,000 damage.
It's a second and a half
Maybe
cast.
50,000.
Oh my gosh, that is such a long cast time for such a.
Yeah.
That is so weak. Okay. All right. So not Stellar Flare then.
Yeah. Never sell it for it. It's a disaster if you run that.
Oh, all right. So what are we doing then? Stellar Drift or Twin Moons? Twin Moons looks
Okay,
good, but
so
Stellar Drift looks pretty spicy too.
exactly. That's what everyone thinks. That's what everyone thinks.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Teach
So,
me wrong. Teach me
Stellar
why I'm
Drift.
wrong.
Okay. Okay. Stellar Drift. This is what everyone runs in RPGs thinking they're gonna do the most damage, but I am here to save the day. All right. You go Twin Moons, and this is why. Twin Moons will allow you to do more damage overall, but this is how you do more damage. You do more damage with Moonfire.
Mm-hmm.
You dot 2 targets with Moonfire, so in 1 second you're hitting 2 buttons. So it's like it's off the GCD almost. It's like it's got a half GCD.
Okay.
So it's like you just dot up a team very quick with Twin Moons, and because you use less GCDs on Moonfire with Twin Moons, you can dot up a whole entire team like really quickly, or not, because you use less GCDs on Twin Moon, you gain more Astro Power quicker because the dots are on more targets, which inevitably allows you to empower your Eclipses with more surges and get more Starfalls down. So the GCD reason for Twin Moons is pretty much the only reason you run it.
Okay.
And because the quicker you get your dots out, the quicker you're going to get your passive, what's it called? Shooting stars to start dropping more often, giving you more and more Astro Power. It's all kind of like a snowball effect with Twin Moons.
Okay.
But Stellar Drift, you don't get any snowball effect. Your Moonfire does it on one target. It's almost not even worth pressing Moonfire. Like, if Moonfire only dots one target, the damage on Moonfire is just not that much unless you're only hitting one target.
Okay.
So Stellar Drift, it's more of a PvE talent. It's kind of like the Soul of the Forest. It's another PvE talent that most people run in like M+. But what happens when you run Stellar Drift, you never run it in Arena, but some people do, and a lot of people run it in RPGs. And what you're going to end up doing in RPGs is you can't keep your dots up, and you barely ever have enough Astro Power to even keep a Stellar Drift going the whole time. So you like, you're at a lack of Astro Power the whole entire game running Stellar Drift, and because of that, like you're gonna have maybe like 80% uptime on Stellar Drift, while if you're running Twin Moons, you'd have 100% uptime, and that's already that 15% damage increase. It's already like you're already like it's nothing, because if you only have 80% uptime and Twin Moons you have 100% uptime on Starfall, then and a bunch more surges, you have infinitely more damage, like probably like 40% more damage AoE wise. Going Twin Moons over Stellar Drift.
I like it. All right. I'm sold. Yeah. I'm sold. That's a spicy. Okay. I like it. All right. Last one then. New Moon, Fury of a Loon, or Solstice. So the New Moon, that's the one everybody knows. You have that the New Moon, which then you power to a half moon that then falls as a full moon. It's kind of fun. Then you got your Fury of a Loon, so you call down the beam of pure celestial energy that follows the enemy, dealing a bunch of damage within over 8 seconds within its area, and damage is also reduced. Damage is reduced on the secondary target, but still damages secondary targets. And then Solstice, during the first 6 seconds of every eclipse, shooting stars fall 300% more often. So,
what do you think? If you were to pick one,
well,
you might have. What would you pick?
I remember New Moon used to be awesome, but then the cast time on it just like by the time you got to Full Moon, it was such a horrendous cast time. I like Fury of a Loon. I like that one. That one looks really. And then you get 48 Astral Power and it's a 1 minute cooldown. Like that just lines up with all the other CDs. You pop whoa boy, I almost beat myself there. You pop a few things and like that looks so much better than Solstice.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what you go in Arena. You go Fury of a Loon, and you can so there is a niche situation for New Moon. I've only found one situation in like 9,000 games, all right? And the one situation you run Full Moon where it's actually better than Fury of a Loon is if you're fighting Frost Decay Prop Paladin in 2v2 with a healer. And the reasoning you run New Moon or full moon pretty much.
Yeah.
Is because you want to run Balance of All Things into a Frost Decay Prop Paladin, and pretty much the whole way Frost Decay Prop Paladin wins a game is by gripping, double stunning, double silencing with their shield, and then like hodging or something. Like they have crazy go, and that's their win condition. And your Boomkin, so you have an extra 5-yard range, your 45-yard range, in fact. So what you do is you play 45-yard range away from your healer, and the healer plays in the open, like the most open part of the map, and you just one-shot one of them. You just one-shot one of them, and as soon as the full, like, you get to a full moon, get full dots, and then pop your Incarn, cast a full moon, Star Surge, and then drop a Solar Beam so they can't Word of Glory or press any defensives except for Bubble, but they won't react to Bubble.
No.
So you'll probably snipe a game off
Okay.
you know, it's actually just more viable than Fury Balloon. Just that burst, you can just one-shot either one of them, and it'll hit for like 30k to like 40k on a prop paladin.
All right. So that one time you run into a Frosty K prop paladin.
Yes, with a healer.
Okay, with the healer.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go full moon. Yes, and you just field day with that one. You go absolutely ham with the full moon.
All right.
It's so fun.
And just hope that you can stay 45 yards away and not get gripped in and not get stunned.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay. You can run it in RBGs and maybe snipe somebody, but like,
Yeah.
Fury Balloon is just better in RBGs.
All right.
So
I'm sold.
actually, for RBGs, you can go Solstice if you're dotting everyone up, and then you drop shooting stars on everyone. That also gives you a bunch of Astral Power for 6 seconds because you get 3 Astral Power per thing. So if you're in like a Gilneas, I like to actually go Solstice and just dot up the whole team. You know, maybe try to Star Search someone to get one down, keep Starfalls up, and you can pretty much just a team. You can play for mana and like a team in 2 minutes, as long as you can like peel the melee with maybe a couple clones if your team's not killing them, and just also a couple heals on healers, beam some, Chaos Bolts or whatever other team's throwing at you, and just do maximum damage, like 5 to like 10k DPS on the other team. They're just gonna with Solstice. So pretty much on like a big team fight map, I like Solstice in RBGs. But in Arena, and other like flag maps and RBGs, I just go Fury Balloon. And the reason I go Fury Balloon is, yes, it's all with the 1 minute burst. That's very good about it.
Yeah.
And it does like so much damage. It actually, if you run Balance of All Things and you're doing the Incarn Mighty Bash Solar Beam go on a healer, and you double dot, and then you prop Incarn in Fury Balloon with all your damage cooldowns, and then Bash Beam, your Fury Balloon will literally do like 40% of somebody's HP, like 30 to 40%. It does so much damage because when you Balance of All Things and you pop your Incarn, you pretty much have 100% crit, and and it's astral damage. So it's gonna do, so it's astral damage, so it gets 100% crit, and it gets all your both Eclipse bonuses. So it just pumps so much.
Wow.
Because it says 6k in game. If it crits for at least like half of it, it's gonna do like 9k or something.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Yeah, about like 9k or so. And then if it with the mastery bonus, so if I'm like say 12% mastery times 2 with Celestial Alignment or Incarn up, that's gonna do like 13k. So it's about like 30% of somebody's HP on a Bash Beam go.
Wow.
And then if you're just doing your normal goes in deep damping, you're just like pumping out surges and trying to sustain your Time Lord Dreambinder. That gives you a lot of Astral Power to be able to like get as many like Astral Power, then send off a surge, get as much Astral Power, send off a surge to like try to maintain that Time Lord Dreambinder up. And Fury Balloon can like, if you're like running out of Astral Power or something, then you can drop a Fury Balloon to keep like that rotation going. So you can like split it from your rotation as well if you want to keep a like
just
an
to make
insane turret build.
Yeah, just use that astral generation and just keep going. So, cool.
Yeah, so just get as much pressure as possible. Yeah.
Cool. So do the shooting stars, do they avoid CC targets?
Oh, that's so annoying. They don't. Sometimes like, okay, so Twin Moons doesn't dot a target that's CC'd.
Yep.
But if a shooting star drops, it's so annoying. I hate it when this happens. Like if you like say you're playing Dancing with the Stars
Yeah.
and you have like a couple dots on the healer and your rogue blinds the healer while simultaneously half a second after the blind, like or like right as you blind or like right before you blind, like a shooting star starts its animation and then
Yeah.
like a half a second to a second later, it will just break the blind. Like
Oh yeah.
it's really annoying.
Uh,
I don't I don't know why. Like it's kind of like rare for it to happen, but when it
Okay.
does, it can just really hurt a game, especially if you're playing a setup comp that has like breakable
Okay.
CC.
That actually sounds like if like once the machine has decided and generated the shooting star for that target, it's going to hit the target regardless. So
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
I,
it's kind
okay.
of yeah, it's pretty annoying.
That's just very. But I mean that's like a second difference or something. But I guess if you blinded early enough, then the shooting star wouldn't generate to hit him to break the blind.
Exactly, but like
Okay.
when you the second you dot the target,
Yeah.
a shooting star could drop on the initial dot. So like it's kind of just RNG. It's kind
Yeah.
of just RNG, unless you are somehow seeing my damage ticks and you like wait for a damage tick and then like right before it's gonna tick another damage, then you blind. Like I don't know, it'd be pretty hard to
Yeah,
avoid.
no. Then you're dancing around, snapshotting, and all the other stuff. No, that's
Yeah,
almost
then
impossible.
yeah, with all the other stuff that's going on, it's
Yeah,
just like way too niche
yeah.
to do that.
Oh my gosh, that would be annoying though. It's like, darn. All right. Okay. PvP talents. So we have a number here. So there's Celestial Guardian, Crescent Burn, Deep Roots, Dying Stars, Fairy Swarm, High Winds, Moon and Stars, Prickling Thorns, Protector of the Grove, and Thorns. It's a lot of thorns in there. So
Yes.
let's do this. Which ones do you never pick? Which ones are like just avoid these ones for all cost?
Okay. I see. I always watch for Kiri run high winds.
Yeah.
I just don't see it's good. I just feel like if you're gonna play defensively, you just don't run high winds. You run Protector of the Grove.
Okay.
Like you don't peel yourself with a clone. You just run for your life. Like unless like it's you almost never peel yourself with a clone. Like sometimes you do. Like but that's normally like 1v1 kind of stuff.
Okay.
Normally if you're peeling yourself, you're just
Internet. Why you do this, internet? All right. Are we back? I think we're back. I see green meatball. I see green meatball. Oh yeah, we're back. Okay. Sorry about that. Whew. Okay.
nice.
Sorry, it might stupid internet.
Okay.
It's stupid internet. Whatever. Yeah, so okay. So we have you're saying no to high winds. Sorry, what was the other one you were saying? The
No high winds,
mm-hmm.
no crest burn, no moon and stars, and no fury swarm.
Okay. So then Celestial Guardian. Yes.
Yeah, that's like pretty. Yeah, yeah. Celestial Iron's super good.
Yeah, because that's it. Oh, it's that. Yeah, of course. Because then as soon as you're in bear form, which you're going to be when you're getting trained, you take 10% less damage from spells and you get more healing. So okay.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that works with frenzy regeneration, so your frenzy regeneration is more empowered.
Yep. And your vert. Yeah. So you get
Okay.
your frenzied regeneration pretty much heals like 55 to 60% of your HP, and if you're running Celestial Guardian, because of your verse, it does like 32% baseline. then you have 31% versus healing it, and then you have another like 20%. So you have like insane healing from it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Deep roots, so more damage to cancel entangling roots.
Yeah, so okay. This is very niche. If you're running Necrolord, you can do
Okay.
some deep root troll. So you can actually run Necrolord, Affliction Lock, Arsham, or even an HPAL,
Okay.
and you pretty much rely. Okay, maybe you can use Fury Swarm. This is the only it's so niche, but um, you can actually deep roots and run Prickling Thorns. So your roots will kind of just stick there, and the Prickling Thorns will like do 3k, 3.2k every like 1.5 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Um, and so when the lock on your team UAs other target, the healer can't dispel. Since
Mm-hmm.
the healer can't dispel, if it's like a melee, you can like throw a Fury Swarm and they just can't dispel. So it's like almost like a stun on them. Um, and you can also root them with Prickling Thorns, and they also can't dispel. And
Yeah.
the Prickling Thorns, if you throw a Necro dot on that, it's going to do like 55% more or something like that. And it's going to tick
That's
like so
hilarious.
hard, like 4.5 to 5k, like over and over and over, with all your other dots still ticking.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go pretty hard with deep roots, prickling, and Fury Swarm if you're running Affy Boomy Arsham as Necrolord. But that's like nobody runs that. Nobody's gonna run that. You're limiting yourself to one comp if you're running Necro. So, but yeah, I guess if you're on Necro, that's the way to
All
go.
right. So what you're saying is we'll see this in the next relegation cup? Is that where?
Well, if I had a good lock, it could be really good. It could like it's if
Yeah.
you're gonna play like any comp, that could be like definitely an A tier comp, maybe S tier if you really play it well.
Okay.
But most boomies who are playing Necrolord are pretty troll right now. I don't know what they're doing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. And then, sorry, Protector of the Grove. Did you say yes to that or no?
Yeah. Protector of the Grove is very, very good. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Yeah.
Because that's when
Should I
using
should I go over
regrowth.
like I feel like I should go over like setups because each one's like has like a kind of build you run into certain things.
Okay.
There's two main builds.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like to run into like melee teams or even hybrid teams is I go since they're pretty much always gonna go me, I'm gonna go like Moonkanora, Thorns, and Celestial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the most anti-train build you can run. RMPs, okay. Yeah, so there's like builds. There's like builds that you should run into certain comps.
Okay.
And I can go through the reasoning.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do
So I
that.
feel like, yeah. So into like RMPs, I like to go Celestial Guardian, Protector of the Grove, and Moonkanora. The reason don't go Thorns, even though it's a melee on the other team, is the mage can just spell steal it, and sometimes like into deeper dampening, we just kill the mage and takes the Thorns, and you're playing with the melee. Then
You're killing
then
yourself.
my melee can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like to go Protector, so then I can off heal my teammates because that's a really really OP peel.
Mm-hmm.
Celestial, so I don't die, and then Moonkanor. And then into melee cleaves, I play melee cleaves like the most risky boomy you've ever seen. So I drop Celestial Guardian, even if they go me. I drop Celestial Guardian and I run Protector, Thorns, and Moonkanora. So that way, if they're going me, all I'm doing is like kiting the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And the second they go my teammate, I have Moonkanora. So if you're playing with an AHPAL, even if you're playing with like a Condemn Warrior, the Condemn is magical damage. So with Moonkanora having 12% more crit, he can crit his Condemns more. And if he's like Avatar War Breaking, I mean, that's going to hit really hard. So it allows for like a lot of counter pressure if they don't go me, if I'm running Moonkanora. So I do more damage, my healer does more heals, my DPS does more damage. Thorns, if I'm fighting like a turbo, like sure they can purge my Thorns. But if I drop the Celestial Guardian and then run Moonkanora with the Thorns, that allows me to have purge protection. So he uses extra mana to get off the Thorns because he might be purging Moonkanoras off. And if he's Boom and we do a go on them and he can't heal himself for again, like 30k over and over,
Yep.
but more like 15k. If he doesn't have the mana to do that, then they pretty much and they don't have cooldowns. They lose at that moment. So
Okay.
Mykonor Thorns, and then Protect the Grove for massive offfields on melee cleaves. Caster cleaves, Celestial Guardian, drop the Thorns, run Mykonor and Protector.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's see. You just don't run Thorns. Protector is really OP into you you have to run Protector of the Grove into Affy Shadow Priest teams because if they do a go on your healer can't dispel himself because he has a UA and a mind game, so he can't heal or dispel himself. So it's kind of screwed if he doesn't have anything. So that's where you step in with Protector of the Grove and you just heal your healer up to full HP. Not OP at all. Don't nerf.
No, that's total counterplay. That's exactly what it's working as intended, right?
Exactly. And then Celestial Guardian is so good into caster cleaves because if they mind games you, you just press Frenzied Regeneration and you go right through it. And please don't nerf us. It's
What?
so OP.
Yeah, because you're not healing yourself per se. You're not casting a heal.
Yeah. You're just regenerating.
Yeah, exactly.
Same. And then there's one other build. So yeah, I guess my standard like cookie cutter build, just drop Protector, run Moonkin Thorns Celestial. That's like the cookie cutter build into most comps. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
When in doubt.
Yeah, when in doubt, you just go Moonkin Thorns Celestial.
Okay.
Good defense, good peels. I mean, if it's caster, of course you don't go Thorns, and then you go Protector. But double melee is that maybe if you can't live, maybe if you're struggling living, then you can drop Mykonor and go Celestial. But
All right.
yeah, that's pretty much my honor talent setup.
Wow. I like it, and I appreciate the whole like this for this comp, that for that comp, and that.
Yeah,
it's a little disheartening to see so many PvP abilities in a table, and really you're only like 4-ish. I mean, at least there's some like some movement, there's some choices there depending on what you're up against, but that's still disheartening. There's only 4.
I think I strongly like believe that if everything is OP, it does get fun, but it also like I don't know. Like if every covenant is very good, I guess it's different with covenants and PvP talents, but if like every covenant, for example, were really good for Moonkin and PvP, like how do you choose, Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
Like, you go mental trying to figure out which one to run.
But then you could just, it wouldn't matter. You could just play the one you feel more fun, right?
True. But then you like have that feeling, and it's like, oh, but if I was Convoke, I could have just convoked this rep war while they're just training my healer, like but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's some of the PvP talents are kind of weird. Moon and Stars is, I don't know, it's Crescent Burn, like they're kind of just they're pretty useless. They don't have any, especially Crescent Burn. I don't. It really doesn't do anything.
Okay.
It's like nobody's hitting Moonfire on a target, to kill him. That doesn't really happen.
They aren't.
It was just it's initial damage. I think. I don't know.
I may have done that. That's all. But I'm pretty low tier. All right. Speaking of low tier, so you're talking covenants, so it's pretty much one and done. Forget about it, right?
So there are some advantages to playing Night Phage Druid.
Okay.
Night Phage Druid does do better in 2s if you're playing. So I think the top like 2s comps is got to be double Balance Druid and Convoke Balance Druid Arcane Mage.
Okay.
I think maybe Fire might be better, but I just don't think Fire can live. with the Boomy, but like Convoke does so much damage, and the teams that you struggle into as Boomy into twos is Demon Hunters, because you just can't get them off you.
No.
But if you can bash them and Convoke and they have to trinket, then every bash from there on out, if you're playing with double Boomy, you can just bash clone them and completely reset, get your frenzied regenerations back, your skin back, then you're chilling. And then you also then have another Convoke where they don't have a trinket, and maybe if you do some finesse work on their healer, you can take them out.
Okay.
And also just does really well into the melee meta in twos as Convoke, playing double DPS. If you're playing with a healer, Kyrian is just always better because you just have more consistency, and a lot of healer DPS twos is all about the consistent pressure and all the small CCs and little advantages you can get.
Yep.
But in threes, playing Convoke Druid with another caster, I think is definitely the way to go. Mostly if you're playing with an elemental, because Ellies are going to eat a lot of interrupts. People are going to spend a lot of time interrupting Hex. They're going to spend a lot of time interrupting Stormkeeper, Lightning Lassos. So with all those interrupts gone, then you can get Convokes off. Because Ellies are dangerous with Sky Fury and Stormkeeper. So people might have to use like their grounding totem, and as soon as that grounding totem is gone, then fake some kicks and you got a big Convoke to send off, and you can lightning lasso it too. So they just die.
Oh my god. Okay.
So if you're playing with a melee, it's always tricky to play Convoke unless you kind of just have to gimp it and play a Timor and Dreambinder and more like haste first, and you can't really play for Convoke doing a lot of damage. Maybe as a support to heal, just like shift out of form and heal with it to like peel a go or something.
Okay.
But yeah, Kyrian's just like the reason it's the best right now. Is just because the variety you can play with it allows you to expand your game knowledge, because you can play multiple comps with Kyrian that you can't play with Convoke. Because Kyrian, you can play any comp a Convoke Druid could at just about the same rate. Like Ellie Boom, you could play with a Kyrian, and you could be better if you play Kyrian really well. It will just how well you play it will really reflect in the arena, because Convoke, you're kind of like relying on somebody to make a mistake, and Kyrian, you can just finesse teams. If you're good, you're just gonna win.
So really, it comes down to skill then, instead of just getting that one shot.
Yeah, it's less luck, and it's so much more in your hands. And I guess if you play the game for fun and one shots, it's definitely good to be Convoke. But if you're really trying to like push your rating, then you're gonna want to be able to play with more players to expand your like knowledge around multiple matchups and like what you can do. If you're only like playing one comp, it's gonna be really difficult to like get a better understanding of the overall like game and how other comps, like other Boomy comps that you fight, will try to take you down.
Okay.
So Kyrian kind of can help you get more perspective and win games more based on skill and a little bit less on RNG and the other team messing up.
Totally understand.
So yeah, just consistency and viability, skill based in your control. I don't know. That's just why I like it. That's just, I don't know.
No.
That's why I like it most.
But I like the fact that you're explaining it and kind of leaving it to the other listeners. Like, so if somebody listening going, I wanted to play Boomkin, but it sounds really tough. But or maybe they don't want to play Convoke and they wanted to play, they don't want to play Night Fae. They want to play something else. It's like now you're giving them options as to what they can do and why, right? Which is awesome. So I appreciate. All right. So of course the whole borrowed power thing. So you have a soulbind, and in the soulbind you have the conduits. So what are, I guess, so let's say if you're playing the Night Fae Convoke, right? What soulbind and what conduits are you playing? Because I'm assuming there's like one and done, right?
Yeah, Night Fae, you go Conflux of the Elements for the increased damage. I think it's like 20% or something like that if you get like a 200 item level one. I think it can go up to like 26% or something with the mythic one. Not 100% sure on it.
Wow.
But convoke or conflicts of the elements, definitely get that. Then since you're running incarn pretty much every game, you don't really need precise alignment for the extra. You really, as convoke druid, you always run balance of all things unless you're playing with a melee and you're kind of playing a gimp build. You're gonna want to run conflicts of the elements, and then you're gonna want to run fury of the skies as your other potency.
Okay.
And that's all on Naya. That's all on the Naya tree.
All right.
And then tireless pursuit for your finesse one. And I don't know if you can run two. Can you run two? I think you can.
Endurances?
Two
I think
endurances. Yeah.
I think it depends on the soul bind. Right.
Okay, so if you're going Naya, I'm not 100% sure, but if you can run two, then go well-honed instincts and innate resolve. And this will just give you a lot more survivability. It pretty much makes you immortal, and that forces them to go your teammates. And you have ink roar, clone, regrowth spam, beam, insane peels for your teammates. So you can kind of force them off you and onto your teammates by running both innate resolve and one well-honed instincts.
All right.
I think well, if you go double endurance, I think you go into like the burrs tree, the like Naya's burrs or something. I'm not 100% sure on it though.
I don't have the soul binds up in front of me here, so I'm lost. All right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Just
so that's if you're doing Night Fae, and what if you're doing Kyrian then?
if you're going Kieran, Pelagos all the time. I was testing out with the other ones.
Yeah.
There are some like really, they're pretty bad. No, they're pretty bad. Yeah, so just go. Okay, there is one niche situation, but all right. So there's always a situation because like we fought an annoying comp that we lose like 10 times in a row, and then we figure it out. It's like the most small thing that we have to change, but you go combat meditation, so like Pelagos, you go tireless pursuit, first finesse, so you can go the file patience, insane heal. It makes your file like a hot, but if you're in bear and you have verse, you also have celestial guardian, then your file instead of doing 55% does more like almost 100% of your HP over what is it, 10 seconds. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a minor hot,
it's all good. Sorry.
Yeah, it's balanced. Well-honed instincts, very good. Run that, and then I go precise alignment, and this is because you're running a timer Dreambiter most of the time, and the longer your celestial alignment is, the longer your eclipses are. And the longer your eclipses are, the greater, like the more amount of star surges you can put into them, which increases the amount of damage your wraths and starfires will do. Because each star surge empowers your eclipse and either like makes starfire, it's either crit more or do more damage. It might be both. And then wrath, I think, just does more damage with putting more star surges into your eclipse.
Okay.
Since you have both eclipses, and then you increase the duration. You just get it's another kind of snowball thing, kind of like with the Twin Moons talent. It's another one of those where you'll just snowball a lot more back end damage on your precise alignment, to where once all your 1 minute cooldowns, like your badge and your Pelagos fall, you're going to be pretty much doing as much damage as you did at the very beginning of your burst, with how much your Incarn has been empowered by how many surges you get off. And this will also allow you to just get that rotation where you keep your timer and Dreambiter up 24/7, where you're just like getting all your dots out, then you're popping your burst, then you're star surging a couple times after you cancel your Star Lord, and then you just like triple wrath surge, and you just do that for a longer amount of time because you have more haste to continuously get enough astral power to keep your stacks up with precise alignment. So it's like kind of OP, but people don't understand why it's OP. But if you play around it, it's kind of OP for your burst.
All right.
gotta get that on my horde druid. Oh. I'm playing without it. It's not very good. And then you just go innate resolve, kind of like your other thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Should I go over the one situation to run the other thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go. It's like Mechanico's Forgotten Prime, and then you go Sparkling Driftglow Core. So if you like go below 35% HP, you stun everyone for 3 seconds around you.
Okay.
And so this is specifically if you're fighting one dance rogues, how to counter them is whatever healer you're playing with will pretty much have a stop to this, to the one dance rogue. And it's just all about the communication with your healer. So if a rogue, if you have to trinket, say they bomb you, combust you, mind games you, like an RMP matchup, you have to trinket. You're gonna die because your well-holding instincts with mind games is gonna crush you. So if they do a one dance go, you gotta pretty much communicate with your healer. They're gonna get you below like 35% HP. It's gonna stun them. Then the rogue's gonna trinket aggressively to try to kill you in the shadowy dual one dance. And that is when, right when they trinket, you say trinket, and then your healer, if he's a HPAL, he's running blinding light because we thought of this ahead. Before the game started because we knew they're gonna cheese. And then you blinding light after they trinket the Kyrian stun. And you can like use fear and all this other stuff. Like any AoE you have, you do it after the little Kyrian stun happens into one dance rogue. One dance rogues are RMPs that you fight.
Okay. Wow. It's like
but that's like pretty niche.
The one time.
Only if you're listening to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some teams will try to cheese you every game with it, so you can kind of counter it.
Okay. Well, you know what to expect, right? So, which is half the battle. Huh. All right. That you're right. That is very niche, but that is really cool that you guys thought of that. So, okay. I think legendaries. I think we can skip that section. it's balance ball.
So we've kind of talked about them.
What's the stat priorities when you're getting your gear all together? What are you trying to drive towards?
Verse, then haste, then mastery, and if you're playing double caster as Convoke Druid, then you can go for more mastery and less haste because you can kind of rely on your Convokes to do a lot of damage.
Okay.
But I wouldn't. I would go a lot of haste, like a lot of all verse and then haste. If you're playing Kyrian and you're trying to like play the, Star-Lord, Twin the Moons, Fury of Elune, Cookie Cutter, PvP talent build, just go verse and haste. It just makes everything feel nice.
Is there any certain soft caps you're trying to get to? Like,
not really. What I run right now is like a 16% haste, 12% mastery, 31% burst. I like a little bit of mastery just so my burst does a teeny bit more damage. That reason we can have a little bit more oomph and later in dampening to actually get a kill instead of them just hiding around a pillar forever. Maybe we just have, just 4% more damage on my next Incarn with like 2% more mastery. But no really soft caps. Just if you're like 10% haste and you're playing Convoke, you just need to run Star-Lord because you don't have enough haste just throughout the game. Especially if you're playing with a melee. If you're playing with a caster, you probably don't need to. But if you're playing with a melee as Convoke and you only have 10% haste, you're going to have to drop Incarn and run Star-Lord, or else you're going to never be able to clone or do anything.
Just because the cast time's that slow.
It's so slow that people can just chain interrupts on you and you won't get enough casts off to create enough pressure to get them off you and force teams defensives or get a kill.
Okay. All right, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's somebody right now sitting out there going, "Oh, that's why I can't get that to work." So I guess 12% haste is that kind of like that sweet spot where you can start running that and be fine. Is it? Or
yeah, you can. If you're playing with a melee and you're playing Convoked, and maybe 12%, you can maybe run Incarn, but probably not. You really want to have just more haste. You want to like just run Kyrian. Just run Kyrian and run like 20% haste, 31% verse, and you're gonna be solid. You're gonna be solid. That's the play.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty sweet. All right, into the strategy section. What kind of comps are you playing with? What?
Um, so Warrior Boomy has been like really successful for us,
Mm-hmm.
for our team. Um, so is Windwalker Boomy. Like Warrior Boomy, HPAL and Windwalker Boomy, HPAL as well. Warrior Boomy Arsham also works, but it's not very
Okay.
good into jungles and melee cleaves because of the low output of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another good comp is Ellie Boomy with HPAL or Arsham, and you can play Convoke with that. Shadow Priest Boomy, you can play Convoke or Kyrian as well. I think Kyrian's a little bit better with it. You can also play Necrolord with that comp.
Oh.
Like Affy Boomy you can also run like Affy Boomy with Necrolord. Comp I played earlier in the season, couple comps. Dancing with the Stars, so sub Boomy Disc Priest is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricky though, so it's if you don't play it right, you're just gonna lose every game. It's really hard. It's a
Oh.
really hard comp to play, but it's like a slightly worse version of RMP. So it's like cut off arm, like rip off RMP. Um,
All right.
and then
I have to
what are
ask
the comps?
with the whole thing with Holy Priest being slightly better than Disc in some scenarios. Would Holy Priest work well with that as well? The Dancing with the Stars, or does it have to be Disc?
Yeah. It would.
Okay.
But Disc is really nice for Dark Archangel because as Boomy, you don't have enough burst, so Dark
Mm-hmm.
Archangel becomes really OP in that comp.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, Holy Priest is actually like really OP. Like overall, in most comps, it's really OP.
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't really play Holy Priest with Boomy unless you're doing like twos or something.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't have enough mana to keep up generally
Mm-hmm.
with a Boomy. Because they just kind of sit there and take the damage for the most part and just sit in bear and kind of die.
Yeah.
But
Poor Priest.
DK Frost DK Boomy HPL is really good too.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of comps. You can play like almost anything with a Boomy and it works pretty well.
Just kind of synergizes. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think we've kind of covered how you win. You've run through that scenario several times, depending on different dampening and bash root beam one shot. Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna get roasted after this.
How
Oh my God.
how do I kill you?
How do you kill me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I want to say that. Okay. Smoke bomb, mind games, combust. GG. If I have no trinket, dead.
Okay.
Oh, it's really hard to kill me, man.
Yeah.
Mind games. Mind games annihilates me. Mind games annihilates me, and also jungles that train me is very hard because right now with the BM Hunter buff, like an H Priest jungle is really hard to live because they just have so much consistent offense pressure. They also have mind games, and if you just keep a Boomkin in bear form the whole game, if you can keep him in bear form the whole game, that's really good. But if he's kiting you, you just can't go on.
Okay.
If you're not keeping him in bear form the whole game, you're not doing a well enough job of that. You just got to go a different target because they'll just win. They'll drag you into dampening. But if you play jungle and you can keep him in bear form like the whole game, that's really good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just can't really kill them. That's why I play as class.
All right.
You can't really die, so it's never your fault. Oh my God.
That's. I think so. After this, I think I'm gonna start leveling my my Boomkin to 60. Get him. I slacked off, so I think you've given me the drive. All right. Last question. This is like one of my absolute favorites. So scenario, you're sitting down with Eden Hazakostas, a bunch of the dev team, right? And they go, "Yo, okay, Ethan, Rudar. Yeah, one thing you can change. Doesn't matter what it is. You name it, we'll make it happen. Cost doesn't matter. Even don't even think about whether it's possible or not. We'll make it possible. What's the one thing that you would change about Balance Druids?"
I'm thinking of the games I've lost right now. I don't lose games, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah. No.
But 9,000-0 right now. Just saying. But
You're so getting roasted.
just thinking of the games I've lost and how. I mean, it would be nice. It would be. Oh, what was it called? Yes, it was called Boomy.exe. It was called Boomy.exe.
What's that?
So Boomy.exe is a build that you can run. It's called Void Ritual, and yes.
Okay.
So you pretty much get infinite. Okay. Memory of Lucid Dreams. All right, and Void Ritual. That needs to come back. That just needs to be the Fifth Covenant. That just needs to be Ventir. That honestly isn't. That's the nature of Ventir. Pretty much what that does. It would pretty much make it so I get infinite verse, infinite haste, infinite mastery, and infinite crit for about like 4 seconds, and I would be able to cast about 8 Star Surges.
Oh,
okay, I'm just kidding. But that's what I did last season. It was really cool. But in real seriousness, like Force of Nature roots would be really nice to get back, just because the way you can play around it, like the 50 Astral Power at the start of the game is like nice, but Force of Nature, just there's so much you can do with just instant roots off the GCD that would make Boomkin like really OP.
Okay.
Just because if you Mass Entangle Root Beam, or like you Mass Entangle and then you can't Mass Entangle Root Beam for like another, say you get Root Beam back, like, okay, so like you Mass Entangle, but like 10 seconds before your beam's back, and then you can't Root Beam for another 20 seconds because you don't have Mass Entangle. So that's kind of annoying. And if you have Force of Nature, then you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
So that would be insane to come back.
All right.
Another thing.
Well, no. Okay, you only get one. Only one. That's what I said. Only one thing.
Okay. Scrap that. Nature's Vigil. Right? All right. Come on now.
Okay.
All right. Nature's Vigil. All right. You put all your dots on a whole team, and you press Nature's Vigil.
Yeah.
And you can't die. So you can't die while you burst, and that's very nice. That was in VOD. That was a very fun ability. I think that would be very good with how killable Boomies are right now, and how hard it is to, or how easy it is to kill their teammates, especially with a Boomie on the other team.
Why not make them unkillable even more? That's a great idea.
Just Nature's, just so I can fully burst with Nature's Vigil.
I love it.
And never have to go in bear. They can't counter pressure me. Be perfect.
Cool. All right. This is gonna be a cosmetic thing. But I'm going to say when a Moonkin shift out of Moonkin form into either humanoid or cat or bear or whatever, all their little Moonkin feathers poof off their body and land, and then stay on the ground for a little bit. So like literally their feathers just kind of go poof off of them and then flop to the ground. But only when they shapeshift out of Moonkin.
That'd be pretty cool. Like have a little trail, like a little subtle trail if they run away.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
But that's the neat thing is if it kind of trails a little bit, you see where they went.
Oh, what if it trailed in stealth or something? They like shift down and go in stealth.
Yeah.
You see like the direction.
But you kind of see, you kind of have that little indicator where they went if you have the eye for it.
Yeah, and then there would be like you could like fake them the other way and then stealth and turn the other way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be kind of cool actually.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick.
All right.
Yeah. That'd be pretty nifty. That'd be pretty nifty.
Just a little bit of cosmetic, but it kind of adds to gameplay a bit. So why not? All right. Well, that was it. My brain is literally melting from all this information. I'm probably gonna listen to this a few more times. I really appreciate that, Rudar. But we do need to push into the last segment, which is going to be the WoW PvP news. And then we'll roll out of here. So, if I can remember what button I'm supposed to... Oh, there it is. 1 second.
All right. Who ordered up an extra large can of whoop ass?
Yes, who did order up an extra can of whoop ass there, Millhouse? So, wild PvP news. First item, I thought this was really, really, really cool. The Oasis Discord community, they hosted their first ever Meet Your Partner event. So it's like arena dating, if you will. There's a pretty good turnout. A bunch of people found some arena partners, and I don't know what the outcome has been, but I do know that it was a pretty good turnout. But at the same time, just because some people can't always make the timings, they've continued. They have a form filler over on the Discord. I'm going to have a link for the tweet to our friend Cherry over on Twitter. So if you go there, go to their Discord, fill in the form, and she will then post up some results. So to help people find people to play with. So I thought that was super awesome. And I know I actually did a Oasis is the new Tinder. Yeah. So no, thankfully there's no swiping left or right, but I just wanted to highlight that because I did a tweet earlier asking about players, what players are feeling right now in PvP, and a lot of people are talking again about how LFG is an obstacle. It's a bridge too far for some of them, and so this is pretty cool. It helps people find other people. There were some hot fixes that came through. Most recently was the hot fix that came through yesterday, which increased the amount of anima that people can earn depending on where the upgrades are on the Covenant Sanctum. But the other one that I didn't see a lot of people notice was Daggers in the Dark, which increases the Shadow Strike damage for rogues by 5% per stack. It was 10%, now it's only 5%, so it got nerfed in half. And it only has a 12-yard range instead of a 20-yard range. So I think that's pretty good. What do you think? You're smiling, Rudar. What are you thinking?
I just know why that is. Oh my god.
Did you do a video about that? Maybe.
Me and my buddy did a little collab with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the video. I yeah. One of the listeners actually linked it into our Discord, and we talked about it. I went and watched it. I was laughing. He was upset. He didn't like it.
We literally kill people. Like we kill them and go back in stealth instantly. Like they can't do anything. Oh my god, it's so funny. It was so hilarious.
That's unfortunate. Oh no, my things aren't working. Okay, all right. Sorry, I tried to do the Discord community in the chat, but that's not working. I'll link that in the show notes later. Don't you worry. You should actually. So I'm gonna link your YouTube channel into the show notes later. So when people are listening, we'll have that. So you can go to Rudar's YouTube channel and check out the video that he did of him and his rogue friend doing a 1, 2, 3 button press dead.
Oh man,
it was pretty funny. But if I'm not mistaken, it was mastery stacking. The both of you were in stealth. He did Daggers in the Dark, he did his Shadow Strike, and at the same time you did Root Beam, Incarn, Star Surge.
Yeah, and then I instantly stealth as soon as the surge is in the air. So
that's right.
Even know.
Yeah, that's right. Because you're Alliance, so then you shadow melded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's cheesy. All right. Anyways,
it's so OP.
There's no real counter to it, though, is there? Because it's all one tick.
If it's done perfectly by the rogue and the boomy, there's no counter.
Yeah.
Unless you just are Arsham or H-Pal, you can like have passives that'll proc at low HP, like Nature's Guardian and the Ooze if you're Necrolord Arsham, and Saved by the Light with Paladin. But other than that, you can't really do anything if they play it right.
That's just cheesy. Okay. Yeah, but so that makes me wonder then. Because then you meld. They shadows. No, not shadow step. They vanish. Your rogue friend vanishes, so you're both back into stealth again. And then, so long as there's no eye up, do the cooldowns reset in time before their saving grace, their saved by the light can proc again? Like, can you re before?
Yeah, so we can do like a bait go. We can do like a bait go to force save by the light, so we can like cheap shot and use only like dance and like 1 minute CDs. And then I'll beam on top of the cheap shot, so like an HPAL can't use wall. And then maybe we can get saved by the light, and then we have to try to get a re, but it's kind of, we have to like meld to get a re or something. He'll meld, and then if I don't get dots, I'll meld. It's kind of tricky outside of it, because you're kind of all inning on one go. And if you don't get saved by the light because their DPS partner peels it really well, the big go, then you kind of are screwed, because the next time you go, you don't have a way to get out. If they put any dots on you or keep you in stealth, you can't like get back in stealth because you already wasted your outs the first go.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's like a game of chess, but they don't understand your strat until they're dead. They kind of just insta die, and it takes a couple games for the other enemy team to figure it out.
Yeah, that's okay. That's cheesy.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Other things. Let's see here. There's interesting thing. I saw this on Twitter through the Matcherino. They're asking for people to sign up for a possible RBG tournament with no other details. So keep an eye out on that. If you're interested, go and sign up over there. It should be pretty interesting. I saw something earlier with Des Mephisto and a few other people. Looks like they're working on an RBG tournament. So we'll see what's going to happen there. I have a feeling these two are linked. Speaking of our friend Des Mephisto, he is back. It's Autism Awareness Month. So he's hosting his month-long Warriors for Autism charity, which goes to the Autism Awareness Advocacy Network, if I remember correctly. Anyway, go check him out. He's doing things every day. You find him over at twitter.com/DesMephisto. And please, if you have a few bucks and you can spare, throw them to him. I think he's pushed over $10,000 raised so far, and it's only middle of the month. So he's doing great, but he can always do more, right? Speaking of charities, this one is a little bit dear to my heart. It is called the Running of the Corgis charity event, and this one is going to be, well, it's for wounded warriors and oh shoot, I'm gonna get it wrong again. Wounded Warriors for the Canada, and there's another one for down in the States. The Fisher House of USA. Anyway, so these people they're going to do a month-long charity fundraising for pledging, and then on the 1st of May, they're going to ask everybody who is participating to meet up in Winter Spring, and they're going to do a walk around Winter Spring with corgis. So get your corgi pet out. So please, if you want, again, links are going to be there in the show notes. It's up on the forums, the official forums, and give some support. Last but not least, the 9.1 PTR is up. They hit the PTR today. Data mining started this afternoon. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really take a good look at it before the show started. I know that they did some changes to the PvP talents, so we might have to redo that section there, Rudar. I don't know. We'll see.
I actually looked into it.
Okay.
Literally nothing changes. They nerfed all the abilities we don't use, so it's really, I don't know. It's probably a PvE change. I really think it's just PvE focused.
All right. That's unfortunate. Well, it is PTR, so that can always change. So after listening to this podcast, if you want, go over to the forums and let them know about what's too OP from according to Rudar, and we can get that nerfed and put Boomkins back down where they belong. All right.
Okay, all right. Ruby doesn't need no buff, no nerf. It's chill. Just Blizzard, keep leaving it alone. All right, it's gonna be nice and juicy next season or seasons to come. More
Yes.
secondary stats.
I have to admit, it's pretty nice to see Boomkins running around though on AWC and that. I was getting pretty tired of RMP and Destro locks all of BFA. All right. Yeah. Do you have any shoutouts, Rudar? Anybody want to give a shout out?
All right. I got a shout out for my boy Senshi. Great guy. Absolute genius. I got a shout out for It's Mafi at Twitch or something like that. He streams. He's one of my arena partners. He's a pretty great, pretty good guy.
Cool.
Dizzle is another guy on our team. He literally is insane at Warrior. So underrated. Literally, guy kills grounding totems in like I will have like not even half second left on my cast, and the grounding somebody will press a grounding totem and he'll kill it before my cast goes off. Like dude's a monster.
Wow.
And we got Novaz, absolute insane HBAL, and healer in general. Literally, when he's not on, we don't have Qs. Guys, an absolute unit. So yeah, my teammates and Senshi, and Case if he's watching, maybe Professor. I don't know. That guy's kind of weird. But yeah. Those are my homies. Shout out to them.
Those sounds like some pretty good homies. It's good.
Yeah, they're amazing people. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I want to shout out you, actually, Rudar, for joining us tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, you also hosted the channel over on your channel, so you kind of got the people who are following you regularly to join us tonight, which I really appreciate. And I also just want to appreciate all the people who are supporting Warcraft Radio over on their Patreon, because that helps support the channel, which helps support not only us, but all the other wonderful content creators under that umbrella organization. So thank you. All right. Well, Rudar, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitch TV/Rudars, the Z. You can also find me on YouTube. It's just Rudar, Rudar.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I stream 4 days a week, like 4 to 8 or so generally. Sometimes I just pop a stream because you just gotta pop a stream. And yeah, pretty much it. Rudar on YouTube and Rudar's on Twitch.
There you go. That's pretty simple. Sir, you went from you went from Fatso to Ethan to Rudar. I have to ask why Rudar?
Okay.
What's the story behind that?
Okay. Well, it was actually okay. So it was like Fatso to Rudar to Ethan to Rudar. So pretty much, what I did is back in Kata when I first started playing the game, I actually used to play Lord of the Rings online. Mm-hmm. I played a protection tank. I also played a rune carver, I think it's a rune keeper.
Yeah.
Best class to play on Lord of the Rings online, by the way. If you're ever interested to join my fellowship on the game. However, my character's name was Fatso in Lord of the Rings online. So when I played WoW, I made a dwarf mage called Fatso.
Yeah.
And I joined my dad's guild. I was 10 at the time, maybe 11. I joined my dad's guild, and there's
awesome.
this lady who was like, no, I gotta cop that name. Fatso is just too good. Fatso warmest core. That's my name. All right. And so she reported my character name, and then I had to do a name change.
Yeah.
And then I log on, and then there's somebody named Fatso in my guild. And it's like this priest. And so I was like, wait, hold on a minute here.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I got Rudar from, but it was just some whim. I don't know. I just, you just start putting random letters together, and you just, settle on something that's, I don't know, just, it's not the worst. And then eventually my mage was Rudar, and that priest got banned gladly. Fatso is just no longer available.
All right.
But yeah, we just got like Rudar just randomly. Honestly, it didn't really come from anything. When you
Okay.
look it up, you just get soccer and stuff on YouTube and like people milking goats. It's really weird.
That is
But
weird. Okay. So
yeah,
so you milk goats then? Okay, I get it.
yeah.
It makes sense.
It's
It makes more
I'm,
sense now.
I'm working on the logo right now. Just me milking goats and playing soccer. You know. Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I thank you for letting us into your little world there. That's awesome. I'm really glad Fatso got banned though. That's appropriate.
That's like S tier name. That's S plus. BlizzCon winning name.
And
If I was
Fatso takes the
Fatso,
cup.
we-
Yeah.
if I was Fatso, we would have won every arena in AWC, 100%.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what Rich Campbell would have said. That would have been never mind. Okay.
Oh
All right.
my gosh, I love Rich. Rich.
I missed. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if anybody's wondering, they can contact the show over. We're over on Twitter at technically_PvP. We're by email, technicallypvp@gmail.com. We're also at on the Warcraft Radio Discord. We have our own specific channel there. So there's the general channel if you want to talk about anything. If you want to talk just about show stuff, go there. Tons of PvP conversations going on there regularly. So hey, come and join us. Also, over on the Warcraft Radio website at warcraftradio.com, there's a podcast directory. So if you're looking for some new shows, go check that out, and you'll find a whole bunch of different podcasts, anything from lore to PvP to PvE and everything else in between. Oh, don't forget that also has a review system over there. So don't hesitate to go over there and leave a review for us or any other shows you like to listen to. I'm sure everybody would like to hear those. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we will chat with you next time. Good night, everybody. Okay. And...
Nice.